Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Solopreneur Podcast. If this content resonates with you, please like and subscribe. Today, my guest is Elizabeth Gifford Maffei. Elizabeth is an intuitive life coach, Reiki master, channel, advanced angelic healing practitioner, and a numerologist. She disrupts the patterns of trauma, drama, and karma that are implanted at the cellular level by uncovering and releasing stuck behavioral patterns in past and current lives. Her quantum growth practice includes tools that are frequency based and work to balance the physical and mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Bev. How are you? Wow, can I meet her?
Yeah,
That sounded like a lot of fun. I'm like, oh, that really resonates with me.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just being
What a
so silly.
coincidence.
I know. I love that. I love that.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
I am excited to talk to you about all the things you do. You obviously are into energy, you're a Reiki master, you do numerology, work in the angelic realm, all these things. So obviously at some point you realized that there's more to life than what you can see, hear, and touch. So I'm curious, how did that come about for you?
I love that. I don't think there was a one defining moment. I think it was just a layers, a progress of experiences in this lifetime. But when I was a child, I think it was around 9, I felt this energetic presence behind me, like someone had come up behind me and kind of just wrapped their arms around me and gave me a hug. I remember clearly I was playing on the floor in my bedroom with Barbies, believe it or not. I still have
Sure,
my original Barbie,
sure.
but playing with dolls, and I just felt, and I wasn't frightened at all, and I knew no one was behind me. And I just felt so loved. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, right? And just so had experiences throughout my lifetime. But I also in school, I loved the topic of science. It was my favorite subject, and loved experimenting and questioning. And science, of course, is in the physical realm. It's We can experiment and see, did it work, did it not work, and we can take notes on that. And I loved that, but I also was fascinated by the unseen realm. And as in high school, I was allowed to write in this one particular class, I was allowed to write on any topics that I wanted. So I investigated, like, healing and palmistry and all this weird stuff that a lot of people just wouldn't go to. I always had fascination with astrology, although I'm not an astrologer, I do follow astrology. And just the movement of the seen and the unseen, and just knowing that it's all there. So I guess as I progressed, as we all progress in life, I could just see this very clear melding of everything is energy. Everything, our thoughts, what we create, you and I, right? We've created each other, our desks, our computers, our people in our lives, situations. And it's incredible to know that we have this power to meld and mold and create whatever it is we choose. So, like I said, I think it was just layers of awareness.
Right.
Mm.
And so are you talking about manifestation as far as
So, yeah, part of that is manifestation.
Mhm.
Part, I mean, we can create anything we choose. You can have a thought in your head and say, "Hey, wouldn't it be really neat if this showed up?" And you think it and you say it, and then a couple of days later, whatever that is actually shows up. Well,
can happen?
yes, it does, right? And sometimes it doesn't, and people are in a space where they're like, oh, I've read all of those books and I get it and I know how to do it and I've tried it and it doesn't work for me. Well, from what I see and what I feel is that we often have energetic blocks within us. Some of those could look like, if you want to say science-based, limiting beliefs. But where do we get those beliefs from, right? We experience things as souls within this physical body, but our physical bodies create emotions. And those emotions, if they get overwhelming for us, whether it's, we've all been through a lot of stuff, right? Things that get very overwhelming that are sad or scary or whatever in our lives, they get trapped as a ball of emotional energy. That's all they are. Our bodies create it, and could be our heart, our liver, our spleen, any organ or any gland creates this emotion, which is an energetic ball about the size of our hand, and gets stuck in our body. And when we pile those up, it's kind of like trying to do something new, pushing a rock up a hill, which is hard enough work to begin with, but then dragging a bunch of rocks with you. And you start to make progress, and then a self-limiting belief comes up, or you start to move forward, and then something happens and it just doesn't come to fruition. So then we create these stories that say, oh, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'll never accomplish anything, or I won't be successful, right? So all of these thoughts get implanted. And there's a way to tap in, find them, release them energetically. And I've seen just incredible things happen for people. So, yes, manifestation with a combination of energy.
And so how do we do that? How do we find these balls of energy? So I want to find mine and get them out.
Yeah, I get, I get it. I mean, I've done this for I've done this for a lot of people. I had, if I may, I had someone recently who, and this was around relationships. It can be around money, it can be around relationships, it can be around setting goals. If you're, especially if you're an entrepreneur, and I know, that we've got a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs listening and loving to tap into what you offer. So setting goals or bringing someone in our lives who can support us. So this one particular person was having a struggle in relationship with her siblings, and they hadn't spoken for quite a while. And no matter what she did and tried to reach out and whatever, it was like crickets. And that can be very disheartening, because really relationship is everything, whether you own your own business or not. The best way to serve others is to be able to serve them in a relationship on a very authentic level. Actually, authenticity is the highest vibration, even higher than love. So I was able to identify, I connect energetically, and I was able to identify and tap into the specific emotions that she was holding on to. Some of them, believe it or not, were inherited. Did you know that that we're actually, when we're conceived, sometimes emotions can be passed on to us? It's
I'm
pretty
not too
amazing.
surprised.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was able to, I have that ability. I was able to tap in and clear those emotions. And, no promises, but this is what we were working around. And about 3 days later, she texted me and said, guess what? One of my siblings just reached out to me and said, no matter what, you're always my sister and I love you.
Oh,
And just this morning, she reached out to me again and said, guess what? My other sibling just reached out to me. I mean, my heart just went
wow.
absolute compassion, absolute explosion. And, my mind is blown, right? But the fact of the matter is that that's what we are, is this pure divine energy. And we're able to shift into these higher frequencies, meaning literally a higher frequency means that a thought or an emotion can move very quickly. That's a high frequency. Or if we get stuck in a slower, low moving frequency, what happens to us, Bev? We attract circumstances, situations, opportunities, and people in our lives that are at that lower, slow moving frequency that may not serve us, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. You mentioned frequency and you mentioned vibration a minute ago. Are
Mhm.
these two the same thing?
Um, it- yes, very similar. A vibration, if you think about it, let's just say you're working or you're at home or whatever, and you hear a truck driving by, right? And you might, and maybe it's, they're picking up the trash. Like you can feel a vibration. You can literally
Right.
feel physically, oh, the truck is driving by and there's kind of like movement. Or say here in Florida, when we've had rockets go off, which is often, you can kind of feel that vibration, that movement, right? But a frequency is a vibration, but it has its own, I'm going to use it in musical terms, it has its own tune, its own tone. So, for example, if you listen to the radio, I don't know how many people do anymore, I do, but if you listen to the radio, you have to tune in to a specific radio station to hear what that station has to offer, right? So, whether it's rock music or classical or whatever it is. So you have to tune into that station. That is the specific frequency in order for you to be able to receive. So it's putting out energy, vibrations. Music is a vibration, it's putting out energy in order for you to pick up and receive that. If it's just a little bit off, you're not going to be able to clearly tune into the frequency. So you meet someone. You go to, and this has happened to me before, and thank you for letting me share. I love this story. You go to a networking event, right? I went quite a few years ago, and there were like over 300 people there. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to see whom I'm drawn to and just kind of walk around and shake hands and exchange business cards and have a little bit of conversation and, then just move on to the next group. So I did that for a while. There was a young man who was there, and he was like about three circles over, right? It took a little bit of ways to get to him, and I thought, oh, I'm interested in him. I'm going to go connect with him. So, and he didn't see me. I walked over toward him, kind of weaved in and out through the crowd. And as I walked toward him, his back was to me because he didn't see me. He walked further away from me. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I stopped, talked to a couple more people, saw him again. I walked toward him again. Again, he didn't see me. He moved away from me again. This happened 3 times. And after the third time, I said, we're not supposed to meet. He's not ready for my energy. And when I say that, it's in all true humility, because he just wasn't in a space where his frequency wasn't close enough that we could resonate or even have a conversation. So my energy literally pushed him away. And you can do that when you go networking anytime. You go up to somebody and you're just like, ooh, this person feels a little off, or ooh, I don't know who you are, but I have to talk to you. Right? We feel, isn't that true? Have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes they end up like within 10 minutes, especially with women. I'm going to say it's not that
Yeah.
men don't have this capability either, but women can in 10 minutes go, "Oh my God, you're my best friend. Where have you been my whole life?" It's the frequency is very, very close. And that's, a lot of people ask me about mediumship. And I personally choose to work on a very high level, meaning I don't work in a realm that invites anything low or negative. Let's
Right.
put it that way. Okay. So if you're if you're working with a medium and you're wanting them to connect with someone who has crossed over, for example, or an angel or a spirit guide and something in that realm. They're not in the physical body. They're free from the physical body, which is dense, which keeps us here for now. The medium has to raise his or her frequency and vibration up and asking to connect with a an entity, a spirit who is not in the physical realm, asking that to come down a little bit so that you can have a communication, so you can speak. It's kind of like calling in the right phone number, if you will. Like if I called you and I put in a wrong number, it would be a mismatch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So what do people come to you for the most? Or is it just all over the place?
So what's all over the place is, we can put it that way, is the tools that I utilize for others. I have a whole assortment of tools. And when I work with someone, either an individual, because I am a certified life coach, as well as, or if it's a couple, I'm certified couples coach, right? Someone as an individual will come to me either to feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, have better relationships, have guidance on their business. Although some may want to learn how to tap into their spiritual gifts. We all have them. How do I tap into my intuition? Do I have spirit guides? How do I connect with them? But more often than not, people are struggling in that trauma and or drama. They've had experiences and people around them, and they're just feeling sluggish. They're feeling stuck. They're feeling blocked. They no matter how much energy they try, remember that boulder, no matter how much they're trying to push that up the hill, they just feel like they're never going to get there. That's the individuals. The couples, I do couples coaching in that they're having a disconnect with their communication and their energy. And so we get that right. We get their energy healed and right first, because they may be holding on to things that they're not even consciously aware of. Happen in their childhood. Again, it could be inherited. They absorbed something from someone, and then they start with these limiting beliefs. So not only do I help them change the story and give them the tools to be able to empower themselves moving forward, I also help to remove what's blocking them so that it's not such a big struggle anymore.
Right.
So
Th these blocks, can they come from a past life as well?
absolutely. And past life, I'm glad you asked that. I do past life regression as well, although I will tell you that I feel that it's really not past life. What I mean by that is that I it's my understanding, and I truly believe that we are running concurrent lives all at the same time. Hard to wrap your head around,
Hmm.
right?
Trying.
Yeah, and sometimes we just have to say, okay,
Okay, whatever you say.
That's it, whatever, because I mean, here's the deal. Like, I can't hand you something and say, here, proof, right? What I can do is let you know that I even did past life or a concurrent life regression on myself many years ago. And it was very clear who two people in this lifetime were in the past. I got my name, how old I was, what happened, and their relationship. And it was fascinating because then I looked in this lifetime and there were two people that didn't know each other. They knew each other through me. And it was fascinating the type of relationship that they had with one another based on the fact that, and that's that, I don't, I, karma just means, and it's not a bad thing, but based on their relationship with me in the past, I had to break free from that contract. And I don't know that they ever worked it out, but that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay. It was my choice in this lifetime to come here and work through that and learn those lessons and then release them in love so that they could do one's in the spirit world and one is not at this
right.
time. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So obviously you believe that we all came here for a particular purpose to learn particular lessons. And is it fair to say that I was just thinking this, yeah, yesterday. Am I really supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here on this planet at this time under these particular circumstances?
Mm,
What do you think?
what a great question. I'm going to ask you, what do you think? And then I'll answer. What do you think?
I think I think the on the planet at this general time, yes. Under these particular circumstances, maybe not, although I think the essence of it would be the same if I had some other set of circumstances around me. So the lessons would be the same approximately for the most part. If I was living in Florida with you, or, you know, as opposed to where I'm at and who I'm with and who my friends are and who my family is, and that type of thing. If that was a completely different set of circumstances, I think it would be, the lessons would be the same.
Hmm. That's interesting. I love that. Now that I asked you, what do you think? Now I'm going to ask you to drop into your heart and ask you, what do you feel about that? Are you supposed to be here?
I hope so.
Okay,
I
good.
sincerely hope so,
Okay, good.
because here I am.
Here you are. Here you are. You signed up for this, girl. There's
If
no
I did,
there's
that's
no
okay.
taking backsies, right? You can't.
That's right.
Oh
Can I
my
have a
goodness.
do-over?
Well, you can if you want to.
I
At some
know.
point,
I
at
know.
some point, no, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. Yeah, and I love that and I wanted to just say it that way because we both said, what do you think? And thinking is our consciousness, right? And our consciousness, this is what gets us all in trouble sometimes is we overthink and we overanalyze, or some people don't analyze enough, whatever it is. We use this brain. This is less than 1% of our intelligence.
That's discouraging.
Hello. I know. Which is why then I asked it again to drop into your heart space because our subconscious knows everything, right? I don't read one things I don't do is read Akashic records, right? But the Akashic records are basically everything that your subconscious knows that it has experienced through all timelines, through everything. And that's why your subconscious, if I tap into someone and I'm doing I'm releasing the emotions, their subconscious will tell us, oh yeah, your father's mother 12 generations back experienced conflict or shame or confusion or whatever. Those are some of the emotions, right? And they passed it on to all of these people, right? So that's why I said drop into your heart space, because the subconscious is over 99% of our intelligence. And when we always default to this, we overthink, we create stories, we believe stories that tell us, we believe what society tells us. Not going to go there, but going there. You know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah.
I heard you, right?
Yeah.
When we hear that, then the wheels start turning and we're like, why am I here? Am I supposed to be here? What's my mission? What's my purpose? This is too hard. This is easy. That whatever it is, right? Or again, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or everybody. Oh yeah, every time I put my name in to win something in a prize, a contest and a prize, it's never going to be me. Well, it won't ever be
That's
you if
with
you
that
say that,
attitude.
right? But that's this, right? But when you tap into your subconscious and you're all knowing, this gives you the true answer. So next time we ask ourselves questions, do both. You know, we're going to default to this, but this is the real brain. The heart is the real brain. Actually, did you know, you may know this, that our heart has a frequency that leaves our body every single millisecond of the time that we're alive. And that frequency can be felt scientifically. There's the seen and the unseen, can be felt 15 feet away from us.
Ooh,
There's the frequency. So if you love yourself, if you truly practice and do practices that help you to love yourself, people are going to be attracted to you and say, wow, like I love this person. I don't even know why, but I need to get to know that person.
yeah.
If you don't love yourself, not you meaning you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyone or in general, right? If you don't love yourself, if you keep telling yourself old stories and you are in a space where you can't even begin to think about loving yourself because it's too painful, then unfortunately, your heart, that frequency is still going to go out at least 15 feet away from your body. And people are going to feel that. And it may, you may experience something where someone just is rude to you.
Right.
Go to the grocery store and the person at the checkout is just kind of, now they may be going through something as well, but you're moping around and you're not feeling good about yourself, and they're just like, oh, whatever, here's your money, right? By the same token, you can elevate that by loving yourself, smiling at the person, calling them by name and saying, thank you for what you do. Who does that, right?
Exactly.
Thank you for what you do. Do you know you can shift them immediately?
And you can shift yourself immediately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I may, um, have you ever done anything to something that you've done that made you feel that you loved yourself? Have you ever tried anything?
Not that I can think of overtly.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll
Like
give
what?
you okay. Well, I'll give you it sounds silly, but it's such a cool practice. Um, a lot of people feel very intimidated in the beginning of looking into a mirror
Ah,
and looking into your own eyes and saying, I love you. A lot of people feel very uncomfortable, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable, but very uncomfortable in doing that. And then they don't really keep that up. So here's a fun way to do it. Most people drive at some point or another. Some people drive every day. And you're driving, and there are some annoying people driving around you because they're in a lower vibration, a lower frequency, right? Or they might cut you off, or they might run a red light, or they might speed, or whatever. So instead of focusing on, obviously you're focusing on the road and you're driving carefully and you're doing your part to be safe on the road, rather than when you notice other people doing that, forget about noticing it. And just as you're driving, say out loud, I love you. 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 I literally I've practiced this for so long. I will spontaneously drive and not even thinking about it, not thinking about it, thinking about it. And I'll just start to say, I love you. I love you. And then I start laughing, which is a high vibration. And then I think, how sometimes we all talk to ourselves, right? I'll say, if anybody was driving by and heard me just say, I love you, I love you, I love you, they'd think I was crazy, right?
Well, they might think you were on the phone,
They might, but they might be wrong
but
because
they
I'm
might.
not. I'm just, I love you. I love you. I love you. Right. Or I might start singing. And it's funny and it's silly. But and then you're not looking at yourself in the mirror, you're not feeling so intimidated, right? And you're driving along, and then all of a sudden you're just feeling really good. And then you can say, gee, wouldn't it be nice if my husband took me out to dinner tonight? Or I'm just making up a story, but maybe wouldn't it be nice if when I got home from work, my husband, said, hey, honey, you need a break. Let's go out to dinner. And then you get home and your husband actually says that to you. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing?
It would. It would be very cool. Well, you've completely changed your own frequency
Yes, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
you bring it into the house and it's contagious.
I mean, you said it absolutely perfectly. Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Awesome. So you mentioned a while back about some people come to you because they want to um, connect with guides or develop their own intuition, that type of thing. And you had said when you were little, the first thing you kind of remember about the unseen was feeling, this lovely warmth, as if someone was wrapping themselves around you. So why do you think that you felt that, but and lots of people do something similar? You know what I mean? That some people don't experience that type of thing and some do.
I think that's such a phenomenal question. Thank you for asking that. Um, I think that I believe or I feel, I think,
Right.
so we have to stay consistent here, right? At least play in that. Uh, some people are not here to connect with and open up their higher selves. I channeled many years ago, started in 2018, and I know this sounds a little out there, and that's okay. I channeled a galactic council, not meaning to, not asking for it,
Hey,
just was doing some spontaneous writing. And after 2 days, I'm like, okay, this is coming too fast. I can't write it down fast enough. What is this? So I started voice recording. And they told me some amazing things that actually, within the last couple of years, what's going on globally, um, now we're aware of it. But I had no clue what they were talking about then.
of
So
course.
I think that was fascinating. Um, but what they said was, and this is I'm going to say it the way that they shared it with me. Many are the mindless, but few are the chosen, but do not judge them. And I'm going to get to my point. Mindless doesn't mean that you're dumb. that you don't have capacity, because we all have capacity. It's a choice, right? It's sometimes a mindset shift and say, well, you know what? Instead of judging, holding on to judgment will stop us. Instead of judging, let me at least be open and explore. And if it's not for me, that's okay. But when they said many are the mindless, they meant that there are a lot of people here, their job, they signed up to be here to be our support. Many are the mindless, but that is their purpose. Their purpose is not mindless, like they can't think for themselves, but meaning they're here to be a foundation for us so that others who are want to tap in or are want to explore tapping in, you know, have that ability, that freedom to be able to do that. So that's what they explained to me. So
Totally
some
makes
people,
sense. That
yeah,
that totally makes sense. Yeah.
some people have just chosen not to.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. Um, how does you have, as you mentioned, you have so many tools. How does numerology come in to what you do?
I love that. So even though I wasn't a math major, I found in high school that I hated algebra. I'm just going to be straight up. I do not like algebra. Although I did well on my exams at the end of the year because I had to, but it was a chore. But what I loved in math was geometry.
Mm.
And if you think about it, everything is sacred geometry. You look at flowers, you look at everything, all right? It's all energetic, right? So ask me the question again. I
How
got
does
distracted.
how do you
Yes.
use numerology in your practice?
Yeah. Thank you. So numerology, of course, all that is ology means the study of, like psychology or whatever. So it's the study of numbers. And numbers also have a specific frequency. And if you've ever read anything about Nikola Tesla, he said if you understood the energy of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you would understand everything in the universe. And if you think about it, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, right? There's a pattern, there's that
Right.
sacred geometry. So because I love geometry and that's the part of the numbers that I really enjoy. So it's interesting because in numerology, we can take our name at birth and our birth date, and I can pick out the frequencies of everything and map out everything that are your gifts in this world. So when we say, well, do I have a purpose? Everybody has a purpose and we all have free will. But what are your gifts? Like, are you a people person? Or, someone who is a people person could never work in a lab by themselves, could never be a scientist and work in a lab by themselves for the rest of their lives.
Right.
They literally would explode, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. So I worked with an attorney one time. I did her numerology, and she loved the law. She loved advocating for people. And she was working for a firm that their firm was a number 8, which is abundance and finance, but it was really all about the money. So they were making her bring in as many clients as possible because we don't care about serving them. It's all about the money, the money, the money, money, bring in more. And she was miserable and she couldn't figure out why. So when I did her chart, her life path is a 9. 9 resonates with a compassionate humanitarian. Oh,
No
talk
wonder.
about a mismatch.
Yeah, exactly.
So she left that firm and went to another firm where she could advocate all day, every day for people who are wanting to get their green cards and become a US citizen. Hello.
Awesome.
So it's guiding people to remember their gifts. It's like we have to stop being like a square peg and trying to push ourselves into a round hole.
Exactly.
The more we know about ourselves and the more we allow our gifts, the better we can serve others.
And ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, I love it that the numbers are basically a frequency. That's how they work in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, the numbers of your home,
Yeah,
the name of your company resonates with something. One in when I do the numerology, it's life path, destiny, pinnacles, challenges. I mean, it's everything, right? But I will often ask people, well, do you have any nicknames? Because even the name that you use, whether it's professionally or personally, resonates with a particular number, and that's how people see you. So if they see you as, and they use a name that resonates with the number 4, they see you as someone trustworthy. They see you as someone foundational that they can come to. They can ask anything, that you'll have all the answers, that you're very detail oriented, that you've got a system. And if they don't know how to do it, they can depend on you.
right.
Or if you have a number 7 in your name and people call you by that name, they're not even conscious of it, right? The subconscious knows. They're going to feel from you that you're a guide, that you're very high vibrational, that you're spiritual. Now, that doesn't have to be your given name, it can be the nickname when they use that. But this is what they feel and they resonate with you. So watch what nicknames you use.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is that once people understand what their gifts are, a lot of these limiting beliefs disappear. That's my guess. I don't know if that's
A part, yes, partially, absolutely. But then again, if they're still holding on to trapped emotions, they're not conscious of those beliefs.
right.
So, but having that guide, it's like a blueprint. It's a roadmap with numerology, very much like astrology or human design or
Yeah.
any of those. It's a roadmap. It's a blueprint to say, oh,
This is what you're operating from.
yeah, exactly. Your operating system. Exactly. I
Exactly.
love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool. Well, this is absolutely fascinating, Elizabeth, and I just love the mix of tools that you use and how you're tapped into so many different angelic realm and energy and frequencies and vibrations and the significance of numbers. And I love sacred geometry. I just love the shapes. And I find it fascinating that all these shapes are in the universe already
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
what the meanings of them are. So I want to thank you for being here. We discussed a little bit. We were going to pull an oracle card or two because you do that too. Awesome.
I was waiting for waiting for you to ask. Absolutely. Yes, I do readings. Often at just the readings are really I tap into the person and then I get information and I write it down before they come. And the cards also provide guidance and people like to do that. These are my numerology cards. So
Oh,
I have about
they
20.
look beautiful on the outside.
Yeah, sacred geometry. Can you
Yeah,
see that?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
For those
I
who
have
are listening, it's beautiful. Just take my word for it. It's
awesome.
round.
Thank you. I love that. So let's see what it's so funny. I'm on a networking event every week, and now they've gotten used to asking me. Elizabeth, before we go, pull us a card for the week. So
Nice, nice.
let's see what we have. Oh, wow.
What?
So have you ever seen repeated numbers like 112277 or whatever on
Mhm.
license plates, or you might see 111 or 1111 on the clock, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have
absolutely.
special significance. So that's
Mhm.
exactly what we got. We got a 55
Oh,
and it says adventure.
okay.
So adventure awaits, and the five is fascinating. Five resonates with someone who does not like to be boxed in. They like to do things spontaneously and out of the box. Sometimes they'll have that squirrel brain where they're like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, no, love, oh, they might do that. But five equals change
Mhm.
and adventure, right?
Nice.
So before we bought our house, we were in another location, and my husband came home with a new license plate. I looked at the license plate and it was 55, and I said to him, "We're going to move." I just dropped in, and I had no idea. It was like not a time to get a mortgage or whatever. Well, within about 3 months, we had put an offer on a house. So
Wow. Wow.
55, 55
Okay.
double number.
Well, there's the message for our audience. Expect some change.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. This has been absolutely wonderful. I appreciate you being here and being patient with all my questions.
I absolutely adored it. And I just want to honor you and say thank you for the time and the energy that you put into supporting so many people, and just putting some just great stuff out there that hopefully will touch people's lives. Thank you for
Thank you.
doing what you do.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to hang up now and we will talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks again.